battle of the 16 seeds gets going at 3:40. And Miami, Ohio, the undefeated team during the regular season but lost in their conference tournament, will be taking on SMU in a battle of the 11 seeds. That game is going at 6:15. SMU is a 7.5-point favorite in that one. The Lakers back taking on the Houston Rockets tonight again after beating them the other night 100-92. Houston is a 1.5-point favorite in that one. Taco Bell's new Lux Value menu has 10 lavish indulgences, all $3 or less. It's easy to get carried away. Like when you try the new mini taco salad, you might ask, do I need a salad fork? The fork in the bag is fine. Lux Value menu at participating locations while supplies last. Price participation vary. Tax is extra.
Yeah, let's get it going on a Wednesday. What's going on, everybody? Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John Schaefer is going to take over then briefly until he is interrupted kindly by Leahy versus Prairie View, by SMU versus Miami of Ohio. We got all the NCAA tournament action right here on San Diego Sports 760. And then, of course, tomorrow and Friday and Saturday and Sunday, it is a full day takeover as the first two rounds of the NCAA tournament get underway here on San Diego Sports 760. And some breaking news, perhaps. Boop, 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 boop. You can also listen to every tournament game on the free iHeartRadio app on San Diego Sports 760.
How about that?
So if you're, driving across state lines like someone else, you might be able to listen the entire way to your destination on the free iHeartRadio app, even once you leave the signal of San Diego Sports 760. With all that being said, we got a lot to get to today. Steve Hartman is coming up in the second hour of the show today. We got NCAA tournament preview. We're going to talk all the betting you need. I just put in a fatty on the first games coming up tomorrow.
You got a little lay for tomorrow?
I might lay it out for you at some point on the show today. How about that?
I like that.
We also are going to be getting into the debacle that was last night in the World Baseball Classic. But before we get too much further on in the show, Sammy Long, are you ready to have a great show?
I am ready to have a great show.
Is your voice going to be capable of having a great show?
I don't know. That's why I'm not yelling right now. Had some brews last night with the boys. Should not have done that because someone in this building got me sick. I feel it coming on. I am going to find out who in this building got me sick. There will be an investigation.
Travis Dale missed Monday's show because he was out sick.
Yep, Travis Dale. Half the Kogo team is sick. I mean,
everyone is sick, Sammy. It's the time of year.
It's literally MedBay, iHeartMedia, and someone is to blame. And I will find out who got me sick for March Madness.
There have been some of the times I've been the sickest I've ever been in my life. I still came to work and sat in that chair you're sitting in right now, Sammy. There were many mornings. 102-degree fever, still came into work. This most recent time I was sick, took a couple of days off, which is the right thing to do. And it just took...
I didn't want to leave my guy hanging.
Yeah, and you should be here. And if you ever take a day off because you're sick, I'm going to call you soft. All right, but as we get going today, I do want to start with Team USA last night. They lose 3-2 to Venezuela. Camera people over at Fox, well done. You did your job.
Fantastic.
Great. My God, the scenes out there in Miami were just outrageous last night if you were watching the game. But also, Team USA cobbled together 3 hits. Seriously,
hola, mami.
The best players in Major League Baseball who were born in very nice drop, Sammy. The best players across all of the United States of America come together to produce 3 hits in the championship game. Aaron Judge, the captain, who gave one of the worst pregame hype speeches I've ever heard in my life, dons the American flag as he runs out into the stadium last night, is responsible for a terrible strikeout right after the United States got their momentum. 3 hits in a championship game with the all-star team at your roster. I don't understand it, man. It ticks me off. I can't believe Mark DeRosa just went and blamed the Padres after the fact, but still, 3 hits is embarrassing. You don't deserve to win.
Yeah, I mean, Bryce Harper finally came through.
Bryce.
Him and Judge were the 2 guys you're kind of looking at that hadn't came through so far this tournament. They were the 2 stars. Them and Schwarber were the 3 stars you kind of looked at. I mean, Gunnar Henderson and Roman Anthony got them to that championship game against the Dominican Republic. Harper came through. That was fantastic to see. And then Judge, we were talking about before the show, Judge immediately strikes out, not even competitive pitches, some of them. And then to immediately give it up. I know we're going to get to the Mason Miller stuff in a minute, but then DeRosa throws Garrett Whitlock out there. Arise, of course, the former Padre has to get on and do it to Team USA. And it just felt like immediately once the U.S. took all the momentum, they completely took the life out of the stadium by immediately getting a runner on and then getting that steal. Very disappointing from Team USA. They should be. I mean, it was a failure. You had to win the whole thing, and especially when you ended up playing Venezuela and not Japan. You beat the Dominican Republic, who you thought was maybe going to be your toughest rival. So very disappointing from Team USA. And yeah, they didn't come through. Aaron Judge has a narrative now. We talk a lot about Manny Machado, 209 career postseason batting average. Aaron Judge has a kind of narrative now that he does not play well in the biggest names, and it's going to follow him until he does something about it.
It was just kind of putrid, man. And I don't know that Team USA honestly cared that much that it was so putrid. Like, you look around the entire World Baseball Classic, and I had a lot of fun watching Team Italy, man, after they beat the United States and went on a little bit of a run. You watch the Dominican Republic, obviously the swag was through the roof for the DR, same with Venezuela. But all around the World Baseball Classic, you could see like people took a lot of pride in A, just being on the team in general, and B, playing your asses off to make it. And now I think there were some people on Team USA who felt that way, but maybe not the whole team. And so if it didn't mean something, that's fine. And you can lose, but you're not going to get the same kind of love that other national sports get if this continues this way. I'd say there's a lot of pressure on Team USA next time the World Baseball Classic rolls around. All right, now Mason Miller, who had been a star, and clearly it meant something too. If you saw the silver medal ceremony after the game, as soon as Mason Miller got his, he did the handshakes with everybody and then immediately ripped it off his neck, because I don't think he wanted a silver medal. And I like Mason Miller a lot. I do. But interesting comments from Mark DeRosa post-game when he was asked about why Mason Miller wasn't in the ninth inning when it was a tie game. Let's hear from the Team USA manager, Mark DeRosa.
Mark, you said before the game that Mason would be available if you needed him. And since there wasn't going to be a safe situation once you got to the ninth, I was curious what went into not using him there.
Honoring the Padres. Had we taken the lead, he was coming in. But I wasn't going to bring him into a tie game.
There wasn't going to be a safe situation at that point.
I wanted to honor the fact that there was a situation there where if it was tied, we were going to use Whitlock. We had talked to the Red Sox about that, and if we had the lead, we were gonna use Mason.
Part of me kind of respects DeRosa for saying, yeah, I mean, the Padres screwed this up for everybody because they said Mason Miller can only come in a safe situation. Yeah. But also part of me is like, I'm sure there was some wiggle room there. Like, tie game, bottom of the ninth, like that's when you bring your closer in.
This drives me crazy. And
from DeRosa or from the Padres or from both?
From the Padres.
Same.
If my voice was not shot, I would probably be yelling in this microphone right now.
What do you want me to yell? I'll yell it. You want me to yell after
you can say it right after.
Okay.
You're trying to market the WBC like it is some big event, and it's going to be the next Olympics, hockey, the World Cup. And yet, in the biggest game, the championship game, when all the marbles are on the table, you're not going to be playing another game. You're checking with the Red Sox. You're checking with the Padres. You need to switch when this event happens, if this is really a part of it.
You need to switch when this event happens, if that's really a part of it.
And the Padres. If you're not going to let your guys pitch and put restrictions on them, just don't let them go at all. Why would you send Mason Miller and then go, oh, wait, in the biggest championship game, when it's a tie game and then Whitlock gives someone up, you thought, okay, bring in your star closer, one of the best players on Team USA, and he's sitting there because the Padres want him in a safe situation. I would have more respect for the Padres if they had sat there before the WBC and said, I don't want any of our players participating because that is not, we don't pay them the money that we pay them for them to go play in the WBC. I thought it was soft. I don't like whoever did that. Either it was Craig Stammen, AJ Preller. I don't like that decision at all. And DeRosa's right. He messed up a lot of stuff in this tournament, but he can't control if Bryce Harper hits. He can't control if Aaron Judge hits. What he can control is who's coming in the game out of the bullpen, and clearly he couldn't really control that because he was trying to respect all these teams.
So the last 50 batters that Mason Miller has faced, 39 of them have gone down by strikeout.
Yeah, let's sit him on the bench.
Hitters are 0 for 50 against him in the last 50 at-bats that Mason Miller has had, going back to the Padres season last year. Kind of inexcusable in my eyes. I think it's wildly soft by the Padres. And why not just have the designation beforehand? If you could only use him in a safe situation, don't even make him available for the game. I think it's ridiculous. I do. But Mark DeRosa, I don't think he did a good job. I don't think he should be the manager next time the World Baseball Classic comes around. And we'll see who is. All right, let's get to the big three here of hour number one. Neo tickets coming up within the hour. Don't go anywhere. And of course, March Madness tips and tricks. And we got a very important question for the text line. I'll tell you what it is right after the big three. Sammy, smash.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? Coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The Big Three.
So how drunk did you get last night, Sammy? If it's affecting your voice today, I want to know.
Well,
what were you sipping
The problem is, all my boys were like, it's St. Patrick's Day, let's go get drinks.
Sure.
I wasn't going to say no to that.
You hit an Irish pub up, maybe 2 or 3?
We actually not an Irish pub, the Phil's Barbecue.
Oh, great place.
Great place.
Love Phil.
And drank some Irish beers, and then all of a sudden my voice, it started hurting at the end of the show yesterday, and now it is not feeling very well at all.
Here's what happened. Fox took the camera and pointed at some Venezuelan hotties, and Sammy was hooping and hollering at the screen. We all know your game. You threw out your voice screaming at some ladies.
I refuse to comment on that.
All right, what's first?
Let's actually start, speaking of Team USA, let's go back to the hockey team. All right, so this story has kind of flown a little bit on the radar, but just broke. Jack Hughes, they call it the golden goal.
This is so weak, by the way. We call it Padre soft. Get ready for this.
So the golden goal, the one he hit in overtime, America going crazy, a seminal moment, not only in sports, but in hockey. Jack Hughes wants the puck. He's the one who scored it. He's like, I want that puck to be kind of a token of my accomplishments. The Hockey Hall of Fame will not give him the puck back. Jack Hughes made kind of a big pitch yesterday to get the puck back. The Hockey Hall of Fame responded and said, no, quote, it was never Jack's puck to own, and refuses to give Jack Hughes the puck back after scoring the game winner over Canada. Reaction to the Hockey Hall of Fame.
Halls of Fames are stupid. They keep people out that probably deserve to be in. They just bogart a bunch of equipment and stuff from legendary games. That's absolutely Jack Hughes' puck. I don't understand this from the Hockey Hall of Fame. You take the puck they used at puck drop. You take the ceremonial puck drop puck and go puck yourself with it, because this is kind of outrageous. Jack Hughes should have this on his mantle, should be in his trophy case, just like his brother should have the one from the game before, just like the ladies should have the one that they scored the golden goal with. This is kind of ridiculous to me. And hockey, go Mighty Duck it, or whatever you do.
Well, that's the thing. It's like hockey is not one of the most popular sports in America. I love hockey, but there's a reason we don't talk about hockey all show.
But Jack Hughes is a household name now.
Exactly. And hockey got a significant bump from not just diehard hockey fans. I think a lot of people tuned into that game who might not have watched a single NHL game this year, and maybe grew the sport a little bit, which is awesome, because I love when hockey does well. And yet you have a story like this. Jack Hughes, to your point, is a household name now. People know who Jack Hughes is. They know the Hughes brothers. They know Connor Hellebuck is. They know who some of these stars are of Team USA. And yet this is the narrative we get after it, that the Hockey Hall of Fame, which I couldn't even tell you where that was, is not giving him the puck back. I mean, pretty embarrassing. I don't like this from the NHL hockey. I mean, trying to grow the sport, and yet you have old hockey writers and old Hockey Hall of Famers that are trying to stop this. It makes no sense to me whatsoever. All right, let's head to let's head to golf, actually. So Tiger is, quote, working to get back, but unsure about participating in the Masters. Do we want to see Tigray go out there one more time?
Of course I do. I think Tiger should age like Freddie Couples, and we see him every year, once a year, and it's at the Masters. And he plays well some years, makes the cut and whatever. But that's kind of the age he's in now. I wouldn't hold your breath about this year. He's dealing with the slipped disc in his back that he had to get surgically repaired. And so he's working his way back. And he almost seemed annoyed at the question yesterday when he answered it. He said, look, I'm working on it, but I don't know if it's going to happen this year. We will see Tiger in future Masters, but I think you want the best possible version of Tiger moving forward. And with that, you got to let him age a little more gracefully, because right now it's anything but. Feels like every time he's out on the course, he injures something else. So let him do the TGL thing, the kind of virtual golf thing that he's doing right now. It's fun. Look, it's something, and he's competitive with it. Let him do that for now, and then maybe in a couple years, once his body recovers a little bit, we could see Tiger go out and bless Augusta again. But for right now, look, I'm focusing on, can Rory defend his throne? Can Bryson make another run like he did a couple years ago? And can golf kind of get back to the big name mentality, which the Masters allows you for, because everybody's playing it. Like Phil just played his first tournament, or is about to play in his first tournament in forever, because he's trying to get ready for the Masters. So he's making his way back to live golf, where he can compete so he can be ready for Augusta. That's what this should be about, not necessarily about Tiger trying to force his way back from injury.
It is. It's great to see Tiger. Obviously, you want to see Tiger. And if Tiger somehow makes a run, I mean, I'm blanking on the year he won it. Was it 2017? And
no, it was my first year in San Diego, so 18.
Okay, 18. So that was must watch. I remember working a job and everyone was I was working at
Maybe
a movie
19?
theater.
19.
I was working at a movie theater and people literally were turning around not going to movies because they're like Tiger's making a run and having to go watch Tiger. That was must watch TV. And of course, anytime Tiger's out there, one of the greatest athletes of all time, you love to see it. But I am with you. It's hard when you see boxers, UFC fighters, golfers kind of be a shell themselves, and we kind of want to remember Tiger for the greatness. If he happens to go on a run, that's great. But right, if he's hurt and he forces his way out there and he, God forbid, gets hurt or he's not even competitive whatsoever, I'd rather him not play.
I almost got fired at the 2019 Masters. I was working at a restaurant in La Jolla, and I was doing part-time there, part-time here. So I was running the morning show in the morning, and then I'd pop over to the restaurant, and I would not put my phone away. I was watching it the entire time. I hid in the back and was rolling up napkins, and my boss came in and screamed at me and took my phone and was about to throw it.
Well, look at where you are now.
Look at where I am now, and I do not regret my decision whatsoever.
Hell yeah. Breaking news out of the NBA per Shams Charania. So the Milwaukee Bucks want Giannis Antetokounmpo to shut down for the remainder of the season after his latest injury. The team's playoff chances obviously are not very good, but Giannis has refused the team's requests and wants to play again this season despite getting hurt. The question is, should Giannis want to keep playing?
Well, Giannis is going to get paid next year no matter what. The Bucks are trying to protect their investment and make sure they have as much trade capital as possible with him walking out the door. Giannis is a hooper, man, and he wants to play.
Like, I get that, but if the Bucks want to protect his asset.
This is what we beg for in athletes, by the way. And the fact that you got an NBA player who's trying not to load manage, who's actively trying to get out there and play, is not something that anybody who's not named the Milwaukee Bucks should be upset at.
I hear that point of view, and I get it. When the NBA is fun when Giannis is playing. But Giannis is 31 years old, and he has had a couple serious injuries over his career, and that would be the one hesitation with trading for him. He's had a couple leg injuries that have been decently severe. I mean, tread on the tires when this team is not going anywhere. They're not going to be making the playoffs. Why would you play another 10 games? I get it. You want to owe it to your contract, and that is honorable. But if Giannis, God forbid, rips his ACL or something severe happens to Giannis, then not only is the Bucks the asset gone, well, Giannis is gone too. And will teams want to trade for him at his salary if he rips something in his leg? I think that they should just chill on this. I get Giannis wants to keep playing, but he should shut it down.
All right. You play a very important role in today's show because coming up next, we're going to reveal Rory McIlroy's Master Champions dinner menu. Here's what we need from you. Text line, YouTube, 70470. Start your message with team if you want to text the show. YouTube, just search San Diego Sports 760. You can comment live on the show like our buddy FedEx Trey and J Silves are already doing here. Appetizer, main course, dessert. You've won the Masters. You're throwing the dinner. We need one of each. Appetizer, main course, dessert. Let us know what it's going to be. We're going to be mouthwatering our way through this March Madness Eve. We'll get that on the other side. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. San Diego Sports 760, Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John Schaefer is going to go take over then. John's going to be on till 3:30, and then we got NCAA tournament action right here. Couple good games last night in the NCAA tournament. Both of them kind of going down to the wire. Had a couple buzzer beater attempts, no buzzer beater makes, but the madness has officially begun in March Madness, Sammy.
Yeah, that Texas game was great last night. Almost gave it up. NC State 9 points in a minute.
Miami of Ohio. Not covering the spread.
Really?
I'll just go ahead and say that right now. That's actually part of my first. I got a little 4-leg combination coming up. That's going to be a good one. All right. We're asking the text line. We're asking YouTube chat. We need appetizer, main course, dessert. And if you want to throw in a drinky poo in there, you can as well. What would your Masters champion dinner be? Here is Rory McIlroy's. Now, also, Sammy, I'll take a yes, no from you and maybe a yes, no from me, whether or not you'd be happy with this being served at a Masters champion. We're imagining both of us have green jackets and are allowed.
I like that.
Because
like
we're both
that
excellent golfers.
Yeah.
So we could easily, I don't know, go like 6-7 under par at Augusta. Light work. All right, here's what Rory McIlroy has for his menu. Peach and ricotta flatbread.
I like that.
Which is an appetizer. These are the appetizers. Rock shrimp tempura.
Yeah.
Bacon wrapped dates, which apparently his mom used to make.
Okay.
Grilled elk sliders. Fantastic. Yellowfin tuna carpaccio, which is, if you've never had it, beef tartare.
Yeah.
It's kind of like that, but with tuna.
We're getting a little too in the weeds here.
Okay.
Rory.
Main dish, a Wagyu filet mignon or seared salmon if you don't eat beef.
I like that. I like
with
that.
The sides on that being glazed carrots with brown butter, crispy Vidalia onion rings, and traditional Irish potato champ.
Okay.
Along with sauteed Brussels sprouts.
I like that. I can get with that.
Same. Sticky toffee pudding for dessert, which is vanilla ice cream and a warm toffee sauce.
I would have stayed away from toffee.
That's kind of a lame dessert if you're asking me for real. And then he has a couple of wines that are meaningful to him. One of them was some ancient bottle that they opened up last year after his Masters win. One of them was from the year he was born, a dessert wine. Okay. So with that being said, you sit down at a Masters dinner. Are you going, hey, Rory, nice work on the menu? Or
I'm a little disappointed. I think we're grabbing a Chipotle before and just kind of picking around.
Grabbing a Chipotle before? There's going to be a Wagyu filet mignon there, Sammy.
I listen.
It'll melt in your mouth.
The filet mignon and salmon I get with. And I like the appetizers. I like what he was working with there with the bacon wrapped dates.
You're not in on a little yellowfin tuna carpaccio?
That's okay. That's okay.
Mommy.
I don't know. What was the first part of the main course?
The
elk. See the elk sliders.
Sliders.
I think we're taking a pass on elk.
No, dude, elk is tasty, man. All right. Here would be, or Sammy, let's do appetizers first. What would your appetizer be if you were hosting the champions dinner?
All right, spinach and artichoke dip.
That's kind of lame.
No, spinach and artichoke dip is.
It's good, but like I could have that tomorrow sitting on a couch.
Yeah, I know. I think humble beginnings. I don't think we need to be all hoity-toity. I go spinach and artichoke dip.
I'm going hoity-toity with mine. It's a tuna tostada with a little maybe spicy mayo on top. A little. Oh, come on! I don't need
spicy mayo on a tostada.
Dude, a spicy tuna tostada? Come on, man! Yes.
I think if I just served like a Mexican feast, like tacos.
Just have a taco truck pull up?
Taco truck. Like, honestly, who wouldn't like that?
That'd be pretty sick.
I mean, and no one's done it. Everyone's always gone with steak or salmon.
Main course. We're talking, this is your superstar. This is the one that people are going home and telling their parents about. This is the big one.
Probably a New York strip.
There's nothing wrong with the New York strip. I love a New York strip. It's great. But if I have this opportunity and it's on someone else's dime, I'm absolutely doing a tomahawk. Absolutely doing a tomahawk.
I give it a tomahawk.
And everybody gets their own individual tomahawk, and you're not allowed to use forks and knives. You got to eat it like a man. You got to hold that bone and you got to chomp into it like we did in Vegas, Sammy. You and me, baby.
Yeah.
Sharing a tomahawk. So that's where my main course would be. And then dessert real quick.
You think Freddie Couples can hold a tomahawk?
Freddie Couples has taken down many a tomahawk in his life. Don't you worry about Fred Cup.
No, I know. Right? 40 years ago,
dude, Freddie C has got this down. What about dessert?
Ooh, I think I go pie. I think I go with the cherry pie.
Cherry pie.
And then I'd also have a little bit of a twist of banana cream on the side.
Sammy's dinner sucks.
My dinner's fantastic.
I'm out on Sammy's dinner. Cherry pie? Anything you want in the world.
What's wrong with cherry pie?
She's I guess that's one nice thing about it. But
here's my thing though with pie, real quick. Pie is very underrated. Everyone always goes,
pie's great.
No, I know,
cherry pie.
No, but hear what I'm saying. people always go with cake and it has to be all fancy and cookies and cupcakes. A pie, a classic pie. You know what they said in Men in Black? If you ever have a problem in your life, you sit down, have a slice of pie, everything goes away.
I'm probably going Pizookie, like a BJ's Pizookie.
Oh,
I think
please.
that's perfect.
You're going to get Pizookies from BJ's?
Individual cast iron pans, a chocolate chip cookie, cooked perfectly, still hot out of the oven, big scoop of vanilla ice cream on top. Text us yours, 70470. Start your message with team.
We got a lot of text rolling in here.
Appetizer, main course, dessert, and wines or cocktails or whatever you want to throw in there as well. It's San Diego Sports 760. We'll take a quick break here, read some of those texts on the other side. Plus, the rest of the show may just be a bunch of long shots. We're talking March Madness on the other side. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
The sport is sponsored by eBay. March Madness coverage. You hear it on San Diego Sports. 760 starting at 330. Prairie View and Lehigh get going at 340. Lehigh is currently a 3.5-point favorite. In that one at 6:15, Miami, Ohio taking on SMU. Battle of the 11 seeds. SMU is a 7.5-point favorite over the 30-1 Miami, Ohio. And the Lakers tonight taking on Houston, looking for the tiebreaker. They split 1-1 on the season series so far. Houston is a slight favorite at 1.5. Looks like Alperen Şengün will be returning for Houston. That game gets going at 6:30. Imagine what you can find on eBay, like a rare hologram trading card that you become totally obsessed with, shining like the designer handbag of your dreams. eBay has it. They even have the perfect parts that will fit your car. Millions of finds, each with a story. Find it at eBay.
San Diego Sports 760. Never been more proud of Sammy Long than having that as our intro music here. Warrants Cherry Pie.
You know, he wrote that song because they needed one more song on the album, and he wrote it the night before it was going to drop. Janie Lane.
He was probably at a strip club when he wrote it.
Oh, definitely.
Proud of him.
He was inspiring the song. He's
proud.
getting.
And why this was the scene Jennifer Aniston and Where the Millers did her.
Yeah.
Oh man.
Like, that's your mother. Please don't look.
What a cool day. This is a cool day here on San Diego Sports 760.
A58 says cherry pie. Why don't you just have SpaghettiOs for your entree?
Yeah, look, that's the thing. Like cherry pie kind of sucks, and everyone knows that.
Doesn't.
Cherry pie is like the worst type of pie.
That's
Name
not
every
true.
other pie in the world, and it's better than cherry pie. Apple pie, better.
Okay.
Chocolate pie, way better.
No.
Key lime pie,
No.
a million times better.
No. The only one I can hear is apple. Apple, if you think it's better than cherry, that's fine.
Apple with a little like cinnamon crumb on top.
That's fine. But we have a lot of text rolling in here.
Tons of them.
A58. What is that? Kerosene. What is that?
All right. Okay.
What is that?
Let's get a little cultured here. Here we go. From the 858. Car coffee, Sammy. It is artichoke. It's a way that artichoke is
hard
performed.
pass on an artichoke.
Artichoke is good. With a tomahawk ribeye, medium rare, pistachio cake.
Okay.
And I don't know that type of wine, but it sounds fancy.
Wine, so who cares?
913 says appetizer, lobster tail, lots of butter. For my meal, massive ribeye steak with a baked potato. Dessert, gelato, which is light but refreshing.
I like everything about that except the gelato.
No, gelato's good, man. A little Italian gelato.
You're making fun of cherry pie and you want gelato as the dessert?
Is damn tasty, man. You need to spend some time tasting gelato.
858 says appetizer would be fish sticks, but would be a bald eagle burger, and my dessert would be okay.
Patrick Mahomes ACL with honey. Yeah, you know what?
I didn't read the full text.
See, like it'd be almost like bone marrow kind of, which is real nice. Actually.
That's just absolutely foul.
So keep those coming in. We'll get to all of them here on the show today. But 70470, start your message with team. Our buddy Jamar saying peach cobbler with a scoop of ice cream for dessert. I love a good peach cobbler.
See,
man.
peach cobbler. That's I can get with peach cobbler.
SD Rob talking about Rory's menu. I'm just drinking cocktails until the Wagyu arrives, then more cocktails after that.
That's smart. I mean, the foundation is the cocktail. You need a good cut of meat, cocktail. Let that. Everything else can fill in around it.
Maybe an old fashioned to start. Our buddy Rich saying surprised Rory McIlroy isn't having a nice stout and a shot of Irish whiskey instead of wine.
I am surprised he didn't go. Yeah.
Rory's a big wine guy. We've known that about him for a long time. And I remember he stopped drinking for a while because he was trying to really get his body back into shape. And if you've seen Rory lately, he kind of looks like a tight end these days. Like he got
Rory,
buff.
Rory, remember Rory won the Masters, then he was like really aggressive for a couple months with the media.
Total jerk. But like 18-year-old Rory, who won a bunch of tournaments, was skinny, kind of had a little chub on him. Also, he was what do they call it? Skinny fat when you got a little belly on you, but the rest of you
little beer belly. Yeah,
Rory at like 19, 18 years old was skinny, winning a bunch of tournaments, and then all of a sudden he stopped winning a bunch of tournaments when he started to put a bunch of weight on because he was lifting.
What did Jamie Foxx say? It's called fame face. You immediately gain 30 pounds once you get famous.
Yeah, that's or the freshman 15 if you go to college. Mine was about the freshman 50. So here we go. It's San Diego Sports 760. All right. Also, our buddy FedEx Dre has chimed in a couple times on the show today saying, who is your sleeper for March Madness this year? Now, this is always a question each and every year. What team is going to be on the Cinderella run? Remember a couple years ago, it was Texas Tech with DJ. What was his name?
Oh, yeah.
The big guy. who was just scoring. He was
Oh no, not Texas Tech. That was NC State.
Yeah, you're right. NC State. What was his name? DJ something.
I'm forgetting his name. But yeah,
damn it. What's his name?
They lost to Purdue and then Purdue lost to UConn.
Right. And so who's the sleeper each year? Is it Loyola Chicago? Who is it? Look, I'll tell you right now. I like SMU, who's playing tonight, so it might actually be ruined as early as tonight. But I really like TCU's side of the bracket, man. And
You think they beat Duke?
So TCU can start. They could go on a little run. They'd have to go. Their first game is against Ohio State.
Ohio State, and then they'd
nice.
have to play Duke, assuming obviously Siena doesn't beat Duke.
But TCU is a big part of the reason why Duke's side of the bracket is so challenging. And it is a really tough side of the bracket, man, for Duke. So Duke is my first 1 seed who's going to be exiting the tournament because I don't think they're a very deep team. They have Boozer, who's one of the best players in the country, but their other star is out for at least the first round. Blanking on his name right now. But Duke, I think, can struggle a little bit, and TCU may be able to take advantage of some earliness.
I like that. I'm going to go with, the Duke side of the bracket, if you're picking your brackets tonight, is crazy because John Shire, Duke, and Ngongba is not playing on the first game for them. Caleb Foster will only be returning for the Final Four, and Duke only plays about 7 to 8 guys. So they have 2 guys who are injured. And then you're dealing with the side of the bracket, St. John's, one of the hottest teams in basketball right now at the 5 seed. You got UConn, who I don't think UConn's as good as they were a couple of years ago, but still very talented team. Tom Izzo coaching Michigan State, and then Bill Self coaching Kansas. And that's not even talking about, to your point, TCU, UCLA, Duke being the number 1 overall seed. It actually might have hurt them in the draw. As a sleeper, my kind of sleeper, I like Vanderbilt a lot. And I know that they lost to,
what's their seed?
Their 5 seed. They lost to Arkansas, who's fantastic with Darius Acuff in the SEC championship game. But when you look at this bracket, Florida gets the respect because they won it last year. And obviously there's kind of that showdown that everyone's talking about between Florida and Houston, who are the 1 and 2 seeds in that bracket. But Florida, I know they played really well on the stretch, but Vanderbilt has the size to kind of get after the front court of Florida, which is kind of their calling card. In Houston, I just don't see it. Kingston Fleming, they're so reliant on Kingston Fleming being an absolute superstar, and he can score 30, 40 points, but this is not the typical Houston team that's Kelvin Sampson, hard-nosed defense, really hard to score on them. I think Florida and Houston, everyone's kind of looking past Vanderbilt, that 5 seed, and they could go on a little bit of a run.
I'll tell you an 11 seed that my buddies and I sprinkled a little bit of cash on to get to the Sweet 16 because it would pay out outrageously. South Florida. Now, Florida,
and Louisville's missing their star.
But South Florida also has one of the highest 3-point percentage in the country. They just shoot 1,000,000 threes. So you're not really banking on them being the best team. You're just banking on them getting hot for a couple of games, which is what we're thinking. So if they're hucking up 35 threes in every single game they play, and say they just get hot and make 15 of them one game, all of a sudden you're talking about a massive upset. Our buddy Fridge Watcher on YouTube saying, after listening to you guys, I think my brackets are already busted. Somebody had Ohio State upsetting Duke.
Hey, it is funny though, because
what was the first thing I said when I saw you today, Sammy?
I forgot.
I said I hate my bracket. I submitted yesterday.
Oh yeah, I'm gonna make changes too. But I think in this year, you look at the 1 seeds. Look at what they do well. Michigan, excellent front court. Florida, excellent front court. Duke, you have in Boozer's fantastic, but they're a very tall team. Arizona, I think, is the best combination of Koa-Pete, Burries. Like, you have a really good guards, but also have a good front court. Typically, what we've seen in the tournament, great front courts don't necessarily win you a lot of games. They'll help you get out of the first weekend, but to the point you were just making, like a team that just can get hot shooting. We saw it with Troy and San Diego State. Troy does not belong on a floor with San Diego State, except when you shoot at that clip from 3, you're able to beat any team. And I'm curious that some of these teams are really front court reliant if they get caught by a team like Wisconsin that has a couple excellent guards. Arkansas, a couple excellent guards, can kind of outscore them and get the bigs in foul trouble.
In fact, just look at Michigan's season so far this year. Their front court was dominant all year, and the front court's easy to kind of game in, game out, be great, right? The backcourt is a little more skilled and it's a little more challenging. When Michigan's backcourt was good, they were unbeatable. When the backcourt struggled a little bit, that's when they could be taken advantage of. Unfortunately, when the Aztecs saw them, the backcourt was as good as it was all season long. But if Michigan can play with that backcourt and make threes and still have the rebounding presence of their front court, theoretically, this should be a walk to the national championship for Michigan because they have the best of both worlds, and they spent some $15, $16 million on this lineup for this year to get to an NCAA championship this year. Like Michigan, in theory, I think they got the easier draw of the 1 seeds. I really do. When you look at their bracket, and I think they should be able to walk into the Sweet 16 and maybe walk into a national championship game. But that's until they run into a team that all of a sudden is making 15, 16 threes in a night. And then everything just goes out the window. I can't wait. These are some of my favorite days in sports, man. You're going to listen to it all right here on San Diego Sports 760. I'm assuming Long Shots is dedicated,
Of course.
to the NCAA tournament.
Of course.
Long Shots is coming up next. We do have Steve Hartman coming up at 12:30. I'm sure Steve has lots of thoughts.
March Madness is a joke, and I will not be watching.
No, Steve loves March Madness, dude. I'm not even kidding. Steve likes this time of year better than he likes the NFL season because you get March Madness followed immediately by the Masters, and those are his like 2 favorite things in sports.
Well, whatever you think Steve Hartman's going to say, he usually goes with the opposite.
Steve will tell you all about Christian Laettner hitting a buzzer beater for Duke way back when.
Yeah.
Steve will tell you about the history of the NCAA tournament. I don't know how much we'll get out of Steve on this year's NCAA tournament.
It'll be from 1982, a little history lesson for you at 1:30.
And everything will be exactly correct, exactly how it happened. All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. Long Shots next, maybe the biggest one of the year coming up next. San Diego Sports 760. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long, Steve Hartman coming up at 1:30 today. Hey, we got a text from a 760 number. And I'm going to clean this up a little bit, but he was basically just sharing a lovely memory he had from this past weekend at a local establishment where the song Cherry Pie was playing. Can you believe it? By Lawrence, Sammy, the song that we came into in the last segment.
He was sharing some fond memories.
Fond memories of just this past weekend at a local establishment.
That's fantastic.
Good
I love when we can bring people together on the show.
Also, 760, you're my hero, bro. I want you to know that. And thank you for being here on a daily basis. We love having you.
Was he in Atlanta?
No, local establishment.
Local establishment.
Actually, I believe it's just up the road here.
He didn't make it out to a certain pillar of the Atlanta community.
Nah, but you know what? The NBA frowns on that place. So
very disappointing. As a massive NBA fan, very disappointed with how the association handled that.
Seriously, when you think about it, the NBA probably did them a favor because it was national news when it got announced, right? And then it probably just would have been local news on the day of the game.
Right. I think people were like, oh, this is old news.
But because the news came out that the NBA banned it, they got another like 3 or 4 days of publicity out of it. And how often have we been talking about Magic City?
I mean, shout out to Magic City, man. That place is going nowhere anytime soon.
Excellent wings, so I've heard. Jay Silv say my sleepers are UCLA, Ohio State, or St. John's. Yeah, a lot of people have St. John's going to the Final Four, which is kind of crazy to me, but I can see it happening. I love UCLA. I think UCLA is going to be making a little Sweet 16 run. I really like the way they play ball. And Donovan Dent's probably playing better than any point guard in the country. Is he healthy? Is he playing?
Well, that might factor in the long shots.
Oh boy, let's push that button, Sammy, and get to long shots. Smash it.
You looking for some luck? Want to win big? Gotta play big.
You are so money, you don't even know it.
Time to take a chance.
Say that to me and his man.
With long shots.
Sammy is about to ruin any idea I have about placing this entry, but we'll see.
Really?
Yeah.
What do you think I'm going to pick?
If you have freaking UCF beating UCLA in the first round, we're divorcing.
Aw. Okay. Get
2
ready.
Christmases.
2 Christmases. Yeah. Okay. 4-leg parlay for everyone. Okay, I want to make sure you got some action on Thursday, on Friday. And when the parlay is slowly building, because we got 2 on Thursday, 2 on Friday, you're going to also have some other side bets. Your bracket's going to be doing well. It's just going to be a weekend of money. Speaking of Magic City. Okay. Texas BYU. We saw Texas play last night. BYU's a 2.5-point favorite, and I get it. People are kind of in love with AJ DeBonsta. Fantastic player. Could be the number 1 overall pick. Could jump Darren Peterson. And he's unbelievable. The problem, though, with BYU is he's the whole team. In the last game against Houston, he went 5 minutes at the end of that game without taking a shot. I know they played some excellent defense in the Big 12 tournament. He went 5 minutes at the end of that game with not taking a shot. Texas plays well for BYU because they have a very good front court. And let's thinking about that game last night. I know NC State made it very close. They scored 9 points in a minute. Texas was the better team. Swain is a fantastic, absolute beast. He leads the team in points per game, rebounds per game, and assists per game. I like Texas plus 2.5, and there's something to be said. We've seen first 4 teams go on a bit of a run over the years. We've seen VCU do it. We've seen UCLA do it with Johnny Juzang and Jaime Jaquez. When you kind of get to play there's going to be March Madness game jitters, and you always see that. That's why a lot of people bet the under on day 1 of March Madness.
Under on free throws, by the way, cashes every year.
Every year. Sometimes when Texas already played a game, they've already won an NCAA tournament game, they're kind of playing loose. I think they actually win outright, plus 2.5. Give me them against DeBonsta in BYU. All right. My phone is glitching up right now, of course, right in the middle of my segment. But UCLA, minus 5.5.
Yes.
I like UCLA a lot. I psyched Ben out. He thought I was going to pick against them. UCLA, Bilodeau, and Donovan. Everyone talks about Donovan Dent. Donovan Dent's fantastic, and we obviously saw him with New Mexico a year ago. They won a game in the NCAA tournament, but the backcourt duo of Donovan Dent and Tyler Bilodeau could really give UConn some problems in the next round. And in this game, when they're taking on they're taking on UCF kind of faltered down the stretch. They had a couple big wins in the middle of the Big 12 schedule. They whooped up on Kansas. They had a couple in December, January. They were kind of a sexy sleeper pick, but I like the number we're getting UCLA at. Currently, it's 5.5. I think this number would be bigger had we know the status of Bilodeau and Donovan Dent, because that has been a bit of a question mark. I think it's keeping people don't really know how to bet this game. They're going to be playing in this game. I don't see that either of them missing it. Dent, I think, is for sure a go. Bilodeau, we'll see. But even without, I think they cover minus 5.5. UCF is not trending in the right direction. Smash that before they get healthy, and people know that, and then the line will go up. All right, Missouri-Miami, last game on Friday. A lot of people are picking Missouri because this game is in St. Louis, and I get it. It's in St. Louis. Obviously, going to be a fan-friendly Missouri crowd. Give me Miami, though. Miami's a little bit of a sleeper team. -1.5. They average about 82 points per game. They play very solid defense, only allow about 71 points per game. Trey Donaldson leads the team in assists with about 6. Renault is an unbelievable scorer, averaging about 19 points per game. Remember, they beat North Carolina earlier this year when Caleb Wilson was there. So I like Miami in this game. I know they're playing it in St. Louis, but give me Miami -1.5 to win that one. And then my last pick. We're kind of jumping days here. Going back to Thursday, VCU, North Carolina. VCU +2.5. This team shoots the 3 ball really well. Again, if Caleb Wilson was here, who's going to be an NBA lottery pick, this would be a different story. But North Carolina, although they've been okay down the stretch, were okay in the ACC tournament. VCU playing some really solid ball. They looked really good in that game against Dayton in their championship game. And Hill Jr. averaged about 15 points per game. Again, they average 82 points per game overall. VCU, kind of a sexy upset pick here. I think we're just looking at the brand of a North Carolina and kind of counting out VCU. I think VCU is actually the better basketball team down the stretch here. Give me VCU +2.5. All right, to recap, VCU +2.5 taking on North Carolina. I got Texas +2.5 against BYU. I think they're able to shut down AJ DeBonsta. I got Miami -1.5 at night taking on Missouri. I think that line is too close simply because the game is in St. Louis, and I got UCLA covering the spread -5.5 against UCF.
That VCU North Carolina game is the ultimate. Like I think VCU is the better college basketball team this year, but North Carolina has the pedigree and the history behind them, and it is kind of the ultimate in March Madness. What wins out? Because obviously the experience of being a North Carolina Tar Heel, you have decades and decades of success in this tournament. Whereas VCU, they've done a really good job over the last 10, 15 years of building this program up and making it a relevant college basketball program. And I do think they're the better team, better roster this year than North Carolina. Sometimes it's tough going up against history.
The only problem they have is North Carolina still has Visar, who's like on his 6th year there, played on the championship run team that lost to Kansas. But I think VCU is the better team. Give me the points +2.5.
I like it. All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. Quick break here. Hour 2 is coming up next. We'll get deeper into March Madness, give you all the little tips and tricks that we have. I have my own parlay that I'm going to give you at some point during the second hour of the show. Steve Hartman's going to be joining us. Man, we got a long way to go here at San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app.
The sport is sponsored by True Green. We got March Madness tonight. Of course, you hear the game right here. The game's on San Diego Sports 760. Coverage begins at 3:30. Prairie View, Lehigh, battle of the 16 seeds. Lehigh is currently a 3.5-point favorite in that one. And Miami, Ohio, taking on 11 seed SMU. SMU is a 7.5-point favorite in that one. True Green, don't waste another weekend doing your lawn care yourself. Partner with the official lawn care treatment provider of the PGA Tour and get a golf course quality lawn the easy way. Sign up at truegreen.com and then sit back and relax.
San Diego Sports 760. It's hour number 2 here. Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock. John Schaefer is going to be taking over then before we head out to first 4 games in the NCAA tournament, where we got a couple of them tonight. That's at 3:30 today. All right. Allow me here at the beginning of the second hour of the show, here on the eve of one of the greatest sports days on the calendar each and every year, to impart some wisdom. And Sammy Long is going to hate this, I promise you. I haven't lived long in life so far. I'm about to be 30 next week, but I have learned something big, especially in the last 10 years of my life. I really got into sports betting and March Madness and everything. Really, my freshman year of college, I think, is where things kind of jumped off the deep end, and I started, working and making money and having money to spend on stuff like this. And the first few years of March Madness, God, I was deliberate. And every game, I was checking my bracket. I had the whole thing mapped out. I had something up by my side, and I was watching the games on the computer, having screens all over my living room, and then at the same time, had my bracket printed out, ready to go, marking it with pen and paper, going crazy with it every time. I've matured over the last couple of years. Now I like the set it and forget it type of option. You have your bracket, you fill it out, you maybe do 5 or 6 brackets. I think I'm up to like 8 this year, and I'll have them all in different areas, all on my phone, all on my computer, whatnot. But I'm not going to be the guy that's driving myself crazy, checking at the end of every single game to see how many brackets I got it right, how many brackets I got it wrong. I'm going to watch every game, enjoy every game, and at the end of every day, I'll check my bracket. I think that's a healthier way to live.
Did Kendall write that for you to recite on air?
No. That is, I did this last year for the first time, and I enjoyed March Madness much more last year. Now, this is also the first time in a few years I'm not working during March Madness because San Diego State's not in it. However, I do think it's a better way to enjoy the tournament. If you have your bracket, you have your bets, and you just check them once a day at the end of everything. Sammy disagrees.
Well, it's your prerogative. I'm going to be looking at my bracket. I promise you that. But my bracket, I don't.
Sammy, you don't go bald by not being stressed.
Please, I have enough hair. I don't go crazy about my bracket. See, because now that I sports gamble, I have side bets going on. So my bracket's doing well. I'm like excited, but I don't really expect that my bracket is going to win.
Are you the guy refreshing your app every 5 minutes, seeing if money's being paid out, seeing what's happening?
Oh yeah, because on certain apps you can live cash out, so you can drop it on another game.
Sure,
it's so fun.
Yeah, it is the best. But I think that the way to do it is just enjoy the games, and then maybe later in the day you go back and check on how everything's going.
So you agree? Tyrese Halliburton, Indiana Pacers star, put out a tweet yesterday.
No, his take is totally wrong.
He said,
"Awful.
Make one bracket and stand on it."
Screw that. No, 5-6 brackets minimum. I think I'm up to 8 this year. I think that's
I was talking with Schaefer about this yesterday, and Brent. I don't have a problem with people making multiple brackets. I have a problem with people making multiple brackets in the same pool. I don't like if you have Ben.
It's not Super Bowl squares.
Right. That's one thing, because that's just random. I don't like when people are in a bracket pool and it's Sammy 1, Sammy 2, Sammy 3, Sammy 4, or Ben 3. Like that. No. It's one per pool. If you're in multiple pools and you want to do a different bracket, I'm fine with that. But I don't like when it's, I've been in pools where it's like, John 3 is up against John 1, and I'm like, that's ridiculous.
I think so too. I am spread out I have a pool with a bunch of your family. I think, Sammy.
We got a big group.
There's a pool here at iHeart San Diego. I got my college pool. I got my family pool. We got a lot of stuff going on. I think the one here might actually be free. So you should just sign up for the one here. And then the big boss Noreen is offering up a prize for whoever has the best bracket.
Yeah.
So get in that one. And then, but here's the thing with March Madness. It's like you can follow college basketball all year long. You could take notes diligently throughout the season and have your sleepers picked and have everything figured out. And by the end of hour 2 of the NCAA tournament, your entire bracket's screwed.
You know who John Schaefer picked to win the title last year?
Who?
North Carolina.
Well, John Schaefer, not the dumbest guy in the world, but it was a lot of
he's
seeds last year.
Mr. College Basketball. And then I looked at his bracket. I was curious who John picked when it happened, and it unlocked at 9:15. I'm like, did you just pick them to win because they smoked San Diego State? I was like, that cannot be the national champion.
John probably did pick that. Now, John's very obsessed with analytics. He's very obsessed with kind of the numbers of college basketball,
which don't help you at all in the tournament.
I agree, except for last year for whatever reason, because it was all 1 seeds in the Final Four. I highly doubt that happens again this year.
I'm curious though if it does. There's the conversation about the NIL because
it's not going to happen this year because Duke and Arizona are both 1 seeds. And I think Arizona is classically, look, this is the best team Arizona's had in maybe 15 years. But Arizona does this where they have an incredible roster. They're playing great heading into the NCAA tournament, and then they fall apart on the second week. And that's
just off history, though, because a team on the West Coast and Western Time Zone hasn't won since '97.
Yeah, no team west of Texas has won since '97. Is that it?
Yeah. But it was Arizona. My thing, though, is because if we see chalk again this year, where it's 1s and 2 seeds in the Elite Eight and a combination of 1s and 2s in the Final Four, then you are going to start to question, because why we all love March Madness is that we see that 14 seed win, or we watch all the 16-1 games, and it finally happens with UMBC. If it's chalk again this year, you start to wonder if the effects of NIL and the fact that what would beat Kentucky every year would have a team stacked with NBA draft picks, but they would run up against a team that had been together for 4 years and in a 1-game scenario would beat them, because all those teams, if you are a small market team, if you are a small college and you have a couple stars, if you go on any run at all, remember St. Peter's, their 2 best players immediately got huge NIL deals. One went to Texas Tech and their coach got a job somewhere. So it's like, I'm curious if we see another year, because last year could have been an outlier, but if we see another year where it's very chalky, you start to wonder if we're just going to start seeing less upsets in the field going forward because of NIL.
Potentially. Now, Michigan has some of the best NIL in the country. They are, I think, they're the favorite right now to win the national championship.
Duke
I have that. Duke is?
Yeah.
I don't like that. But Michigan could very well go on a run. Arizona has excellent NIL. Florida has excellent NIL. Duke does as well. But then you do see some teams who've kind of fallen who do have great NIL. Like Tennessee has incredible NIL for football and basketball. Tennessee's a 6 seed this year. North Carolina for basketball has great NIL. They're a 6 seed this year. So it can get a little, I don't know if the NIL impact has totally taken over college basketball the same way it has college football.
Right. I just think I think we'll see upsets, but we used to see upsets on the first weekend. The first two.
There's going to be a 12 seed who gets a win.
Right, but that happens every year. Is that a massive upset?
12 versus a 3?
We used to, for a while there, we were always seeing 12 versus 5. We
12
were
versus 5, yeah.
Always seeing 113 seed, 114 seed, a 50. For a run there, you had St. Peter's, you had, remember Georgia State that 1 year hit the game winner on the first game. So I'm just curious if we see a very chalky opening weekend, if that's going to be the conversation going forward about the NIL.
Well, if it's a very chalky weekend, I make zero money this weekend. So I would like for that not to happen because we got a lot of upsets that I have picked already. All right, it's San Diego Sports 760. Let's get to the big 3 here of hour number 2. We'll continue reading these texts about your Masters Champion dinner on the other side. They're fantastic. If you want to get them in, we're asking for appetizer, main course, and dessert. Plus a drink if you want to throw that in as well. 70470. Start your message with team. YouTube at San Diego Sports 760. Sammy, big 3, hour number 2, smash.
Your lunch break is here. Ready to go back to the office and knock the socks off your friends? Coworkers? It's time for the top stories of the day. The big 3.
We've really gone this far in the show, and neither of us have called McNeese upsetting Vanderbilt in the first round.
Got Amir Khan walking them out.
All right, where are we going?
Let's go back to the WBC last night. Obviously, Team USA loses 3-2 to Venezuela. You had the controversy, which we talked about earlier, about Mason Miller. Mark DeRosa basically was like, he was on the only way the Padres wanted him to pitch in that game was if it was a save situation. So the question is this: who is most to blame for Team USA not winning yesterday?
The Padres are the offense is the most to blame for Team USA. 3 hits against Venezuela. Come on, guys. You're supposed to be the best. You're supposed to be the best of the best. And to go out there and lay an egg like that, wildly disappointing. And I found myself getting angry that Mike Trout wasn't on the team last night, angry that Mookie Betts wasn't on the team last night. Very, very frustrating effort by Team USA.
Right. The offense, to not take advantage of Eduardo Rodriguez, who is a fine pitcher. He's okay. He's bounced around a little bit from the Tigers to the Diamondbacks. He's not some ace. But then I guess I can't really blame the offense when did they play well? No. But when you're throwing out Nolan McLean, who is a Mets pitching prospect in a WBC final, I blame the starting pitchers.
Right, but if you would have told us before the game that Team USA gives up 3 runs, you'd say, oh, Team USA wins.
Right, and he pitched fine in the game. What I'm saying is, like, why overall is Skubal not there? Skeens pitched the other day. I hate all these regulations that comes out about Mason Miller. The Padres didn't want him pitching outside of a safe situation. It's like, if you're going to make the event supposed to be a must-watch TV, must-watch every time Team USA plays once every 3 years, it's must-see TV. And yet, what did Mark DeRosa say? Garrett Whitlock, who gave it up in the 9th inning, talked about they were in contact with the Red Sox, how they wanted him to be used. They were in contact with the Padres about how they wanted Mason Miller to be used. I mean, this is a gimmick. You think Venezuela was in contact with the teams? No. They were just throwing. Placencia pitched the night before, the closer for Venezuela, and he plays for the Cubs, and pitched again last night. And it's like the U.S., this whole, DeRosa, it was like a joke. It was like, oh, we're talking to these teams, and we think that our C team is basically going to beat everyone else. It's like Venezuela has a bunch of MLB stars. I just thought the fact that the more stars didn't show up for this thing, especially when the pitching staff, and then I kind of blame a lot of the teams for taking Skubal away. The Padres for taking Miller away. Very disappointing from Team USA.
What's next?
All right, Matt Leinart. So weird story out of USC. Matt Leinart said yesterday that USC asked him to Matt Leinart has his jersey retired at the Coliseum. Number 11. USC asked him to unretire his jersey for a 5-star recruit. And Matt Leinart said, pound sand, absolutely not. There's no way that I'm unretiring my jersey. And then went on Colin Cowherd today talking with Jason McIntyre. Was like, yeah, I mean, you have schools literally asking for recruits, for guys who have not done anything yet, to unretire legends of colleges' jerseys. Reaction to Matt Leinart kind of going off on USC about this.
He said, absolutely effing not, and I would defend Matt Leinart till the cows come home. I also, look, maybe this is me not being older. I think it's kind of dumb that jerseys get retired and no one can ever wear the number again. I think that's kind of silly. Like, it's a number on a jersey.
Really?
If you want to hang the jersey with the last name on it, sure, fine. But like the fact that no one can ever wear number 11 again at USC, I think is kind of silly. Personally, there's a lot of numbers, and it's just a number. That's what it is. And I know people get mad because like Tony Gwynn's number's retired and nobody else should be able to wear it. I get that.
I mean, like someone in Cleveland shouldn't be able to wear 23 for LeBron.
I get that, but just whatever. Who really cares ultimately? It's a number on a stat sheet. But if it is a tradition, and it obviously is, and it means a lot to some people, then yeah, why would USC's best era of football, maybe ever, was with Matt Leinart as the quarterback. For a recruit out of high school, you want to take something down that means something to not only Matt Leinart but the USC fan base. I think that's kind of outrageous. This is very much in line with the puck in the hockey thing. If the Canada Hall of Fame wants to keep the puck, that's kind of dumb. It should belong to Hughes.
It's a microcosm of how college sports has changed. We're talking about a few minutes ago. If we see chalk in this year's tournament, it's because of the NIL. I mean, it has went from where it was, the coaches had all the power and the universities had too much power because they didn't pay the kids. And that was not right. But then you have now where recruits are breaking contracts left and right, making high money demands, now asking to unretire a jersey. I mean, Matt Leinart and Reggie Bush, those were the days. Those were the peak of USC football. If anyone that has worn the USC jersey outside of Reggie Bush has a claim to have a jersey retired, it would be Matt Leinart. And the fact that I'm disappointed in USC for asking that, for going to Matt Leinart to ask to unretire his jersey, it's pretty embarrassing. And it shows you how far college football has come and that it is so player-centric and the players have all the power at all times.
Text line's asking for a reread of long shots. We'll get that to you on the other side. We'll also get Big 3, number 3 on the other side. We'll take a little bit of a break here. Neo tickets coming up very, very soon. Steve Hartman coming up very, very soon. Back to the NCAA tournament and Big 3, number 3 on the other side. It's San Diego Sports 760 live on the iHeartRadio app. Hang on real quick, Sammy. Did you see the video of Matt Leinert's son asking the Alexa to talk about Matt Leinart?
That was hilarious.
And the Alexa kind of roasted him.
He's like, was not a good NFL quarterback at all. Matt Leinert's sitting there. He's like, what the hell, dude?
He's like, excellent college quarterback who led USC to unprecedented success and didn't really pan out in the NFL.
And his kids laughing. That was awesome.
Classic. Hilarious. Great social media video if you haven't seen it. All right, San Diego Sports 760. Quick break here on the live iHeartRadio app. College basketball will be on TV all day tomorrow and the next day. Why not go enjoy it out at the Valley View Casino and Hotel? They got TVs all over the place. Plus, tomorrow is Thirsty Thursday, so you got to get out there for their amazing drink specials. If you're making plans for the biggest weekend in college basketball, why not make plans to go out to the Valley View Casino and Hotel tomorrow, Thirsty Thursday? You can sip on $5 ice cold draft beers, $6 hand selected wines, and $7 refreshing cocktails at any of Valley View Casino and Hotel's restaurants and bars, or while you play your favorite slots and table games. Don't miss out on the thirst quenching deals available Thursdays at Valley View Casino and Hotel. Just tell your boss you're sick. It's the first day of the NCAA tournament. Get on out to the Valley View Casino and Hotel and make sure you sign up for the Players Club while you're there. Signing up is always quick, easy, and free. Plus, when you join the Players Club, you're going to get over $200 in free offers to use at San Diego's favorite casino instantly. Like $10 or more play, which is free slot play, $10 a match play, which is free table game play, $20 to the Black and Blue Steakhouse, $10 to Patties and Pints, which is a great place to watch all the games, TVs everywhere, $10 to sticks or snacks, $10 to sweets, $10 to the corner market, a free collectible t-shirt, and 2 free Maine lobster buffets when you upgrade from red card to blue card status. The more you use your Players Club card on all your favorite slots or table games, the more rewards you're going to earn, like complimentary dining, free hotel stays, exclusive events, and more. So don't miss out. Visit Valley View Casino and Hotel tomorrow for Thirsty Thursday. Watch a bunch of college hoops and join the Ultimate Players Club to get over $200 in free offers today. To learn more, visit valleyviewcasino.com. All guests 21 and over are invited to enjoy the casino, hotel, and restaurants. San Diego Sports 760, Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2. Steve Hartman going to be jumping on in about 10 minutes. Let's see. Text line 913. Gelato is a step up from regular ice cream, Sammy.
No
Gelato is fantastic, dude. A little espresso gelato is so good. 858. I got UConn losing early to UCLA. So do I, actually. 760. Do we want to do a San Diego Sports 760 meetup at same local establishment that 760 recommended earlier? 858 asking us, sure, 760, you plan it. Maybe Sammy will show up. I think I'd get divorced if I show up. 858, Sammy, can you read us long shots again?
Of
Would
course.
you mind, Sammy Long, reading us long shots?
All right, Texas plus 2.5 against BYU. I think they have the front court to limit AJ DeBonsta. I got VCU plus 2.5 against North Carolina. Both these games on Thursday. North Carolina not having Caleb Wilson, I think, is a massive loss for them. And then on Friday, I like on the night game, I like Miami to beat Missouri. Miami minus 1.5, despite the game being in St. Louis. I think people are over kind of hyping how much of an impact that will have. And my last pick here, I got UCLA minus 5.5 against UCF. I think the line is only 5.5 because of the Bilodeau and Donovan Dent injuries, wondering how healthy they're going to be. But I just think they're the better team overall. And I think they're going to be ready to go for Friday with the committee giving them another day of rest.
All right, YouTube chats. Jay Silv says, for mid-majors, I like USF and Akron. Akron has a pretty big sprinkle for my friend group, if I'm being honest.
Shoot the 3-ball really well.
Really
Smart
well.
pick, Jay Silv.
Fridge Watcher, bro, if I don't look at my bracket the whole time, I'm legit forgetting what teams I picked.
Yeah, Fletch.
Set it, forget it.
That
look
was
back
not
here in the day.
That did not have the impact you wanted that to have.
On me, it did. It made my life easier. FedEx Stray saying, I'm also really rooting hard for Santa Clara versus Kentucky. Kentucky's the weakest it's been in a while, man. That might pan out for you.
That's another we were talking about earlier. VCU over North Carolina. Like, you take the blue blood of North Carolina, but VCU might be the better team. Santa Clara is a damn good basketball team, and if you take away the Kentucky brand, I don't even know that they're a 7 seed.
Maybe not. Rich saying, I hate it when I'm rooting for a team to win, and then I find out that I actually picked the other team on my bracket. Happens every year. Fridge Watcher, I'm very hopeful SDFC pulls this off tonight. Yeah, so are we. We're rooting.
Yes, sir.
Also, Fridge Watcher says, hopefully we don't kick anyone in the face within the first 10 minutes that could actually play with all 11 players all game. That was what happened last time they played Toluca, man, in the CONCACAF, and they still pulled it out somehow, but now you're playing on their turf, going to be a lot trickier. Rich says, no excuses for Steve Hartman today. Let's go. I agree. Steve is now big timed us 2 weeks in a row.
2 weeks in a row. He is
inexcusable.
Do you hear what you did? He was on with David Vassay on last Friday.
I know, he texted me and said, I'm on with Vassay, Fletch.
And Vassay was saying that he didn't really mess with the WBC. Like, he'd rather watch a Dodger game, a Dodger spring training game. And then Steve Hartman started calling David Vassay not patriotic for that.
Good for Steve. I agree. Also, Vassay is a sucker. We all know that. All right.
I was kicking with him over the weekend.
Yeah, David Vassay, he's whatever. Dude broke his arm going down a slide.
Please, you tripped on an acorn.
Are we 10 years old, David Vassay? All right. We got Steve coming up in just a little bit. I did want to play that Mark DeRosa sound one more time for anybody that missed it. Mark DeRosa, the manager of Team USA in the World Baseball Classic. They fall last night 3-2 to Venezuela. The best part of that night was definitely the camera work by Fox's camera crew, if you know. But Mark DeRosa, after the game, basically blamed the whole thing on the Padres. Let's hear from Team USA's manager, Mark DeRosa.
Mark, you said before the game that Mason would be available if he needed him. And since there wasn't going to be a safe situation once you got to the ninth, I was curious what went into not using him there.
Honoring the Padres. Had we taken the lead, he was coming in. But I wasn't going to bring him into a tie game.
There wasn't going to be a safe situation at that point.
I wanted to honor the fact that there was a situation there where if it was tied, we were going to use Whitlock. We had talked to the Red Sox about that, and if we had the lead, we were going to use Mason.
Honestly, good for Mark DeRosa there. I don't know if Padre fans are ticked off by those comments. I wouldn't be. I would also kind of blame the Padres, not for the whole thing, but if they truly did say, yeah, we want restrictions on Mason Miller, I kind of get it from the Padres' point of view, but also, well, you want this to mean something or not?
Right. It's like you've been selling the WBC as this big must-watch thing every 3 years, and yet the stars aren't playing, and they're on restrictions. And even the starting pitchers, like, I get they can only throw 95 pitches or less, so you don't have a situation where a manager is throwing someone 110. A player's not going to pull themselves out of a game with the quick ramp up. But it just, I don't get it. It's like,
would the Padres play Mason Miller 3 games in 5 days? Of course.
Of course they would. And here's the thing. again, I would have more respect for the Padres if they would have been like, we're not sending Padres players because like we don't pay them to play in the WBC. I would have more respect for that than sending Mason Miller, having him be a focal point of the team, one of the stars of the team, certainly.
And he was available for the game.
And you needed him.
So situationally, you're going to say only if you have a lead and it's a save situation.
And you heard him say he was in contact with the Red Sox about Garrett Whitlock. I mean, you're putting restrictor plates on these guys. And it's like at that point, then either don't send the players or just hold the WBC at a different time of year where this isn't an issue.
858 hates your long shots, by the way, Sammy. So that's
no. 858 likes Miami and UCLA. Did not like VCU and Texas. But listen,
hates it.
Teach their own.
All right. San Diego Sports 760. Steve Hartman, the vampire of San Diego Sports 760, is on the other side, live on the iHeartRadio app.
This sport is sponsored by Mattress Firm. We got coverage of the NCAA tournament starting today, of course, at 3:30. Got Lehigh taking on Prairie View. Lehigh is currently a 3.5-point favorite in that one. And Miami, Ohio taking on SMU. SMU is a 7.5-point favorite, despite Miami, Ohio being only 45 minutes away from their campus. The Lakers riding a win streak into this game, taking on the Houston Rockets, looking for the tiebreaker over Houston. They're both 1-1 on the season. Houston is a 1.5-point favorite. Alperen Şengün is expected back. That game is going at 6:30. Having trouble sleeping? Visit Mattress Firm during the Upgrade Your Sleep sale. Their sleep experts will help you find the perfect bed for a premium selection of top brands. They make sleep easy.
Not for nothing, but I had another thought about this Mason Miller thing. Mason Miller clearly wanted to pitch. Mason Miller ripped off the silver medal as soon as it was handed to him. He was pissed off. What does that do to his relationship with the Padres moving forward? Because they're the ones who kept him off the mound.
Great point.
I don't know what the hell anyone was thinking with this. It's made me more mad as the day has gone on. And believe it or not, I'm freaking defending Mark DeRosa now, which is outrageous because I think he did a terrible job as the leader of Team USA. All right, San Diego Sports 760, Ben Fletcher, Sammy Long with you till 2 o'clock today. John Schaefer going to take over then, followed immediately by NCAA tournament coverage. We have Steve Hartman on the show. Usually it's a Friday thing. This week it's a Wednesday thing. Hopefully we're not interfering with date night. Steve, hello.
You know, Fletch, I feel like Sammy owes you a de facto apology because his father dragged me on to 570 last Friday when I could have been hanging with you. But, you know, when Brian Long calls, I answer. And to my stunned disbelief, I was filling in on the midday show last Friday, apparently to the entertainment of Sammy, as he was listening apparently in Arizona, as I did the show with the most hated individual in the city of San Diego, and that would be David Vassay, who came off during our show as the most anti-American sports talk show host that I can ever recall. So it was quite a day. So I apologize to you, Fletch, that I was not able to hang with you last Friday.
You know, it's okay, Steve. We managed through. Actually, I got Jonas Knox to not replace, because there's no such thing as replacing Steve Hartman, but fill in for Steve Hartman. And Jonas did a pretty good job. So we'll keep him around. But Steve, I'm curious your thoughts on last night's action in the WBC. You, as a very patriotic man, the opposite of David Vassay, Steve Hartman. Your thoughts on how everything went down with DeRosa's comments after the game about Mason Miller and the Padres, and just the lack of offense from Team USA in the biggest moment of baseball national pride they could have had. What did you think about last night's game?
I watched the whole game, guys. I really did. I watched, the pregame, and, I have to admit, I really have not paid much attention to the WBC over the years. I guess I have one memory, and that's Shohei striking out Mike Trout and the last World Baseball Classic. By the way, it's at every 3 years, 4 years, 6 years. I'm a little confused. Anyway, so I'm watching the game last night, and just the level of enthusiasm between Venezuela and the United States was very much in stark contrast. I mean, this meant everything to Venezuela to win this World Baseball Classic. And meanwhile, the United States players will go back and work on their game, because the bats were pretty silent throughout this WBC. I don't know what to make of it. I mean, I was happy for Venezuela because it actually did matter to them, obviously, that they had won the World Baseball Classic. But, snit-fit by some of the Americans about their silver medals. Just take the medal and go home and count your millions of dollars in your bank accounts. I thought that was Bush, and DeRosa did a horrific job. In fact, I found out from Vassay, of all people, before they had taken Kershaw off the roster, that it was Kershaw that precipitated that. He was so absolutely shocked by the disarray in the management of that USA team. Frankly, he wanted off. Not that he was given any promises that he was going to appear in games, but he just wanted out. And so I don't know what to make of it. I mean, we're trying to, sort of get into this WBC. like I said, would have made a difference if the United States had won. I don't know. I think we forget the next day, pretty much like we forget about the Olympics as soon as it's over. Let's get back to Major League Baseball and what everyone's really fighting for, and that is a World Series championship.
Steve, the Lakers making a little bit of a run here, beating all these playoff teams recently. Do you think that they are the third best team in the Western Conference that can make a run, or do you think this is just a little blip on the radar?
Well, it helps, Sammy, if they played every game at home, which is what they've been doing after they were excluded from playing over at the Crypt because of the Grammy tour situation. Look, I still don't buy what the Lakers are trying to sell right now. Are they in the class of OKC? No. Are they in the class of San Antonio? No. Defensively, they still have problems. I mean, look, Luka is a great offensive player, is what he is. He's a dominant offensive player, and AR seems to be getting his legs back after coming back from injury. But how far will that take him? It's a good question. It really doesn't matter. As I explained to you guys last time, none of this really matters right now because the Guggenheim Group after this season is going to do a house cleaning. I mean, it's going to be an absolute hand out the pink slips, and we are starting all over again around Luka Doncic. I mean, they're going to make a flat offer to Austin Reeves, take it or leave it. If you think you're worth double that, hey, good luck. We wish you all the best. And, of course, they can't get LeBron out the door quick enough. So, it's sort of one of those weird years for the Lakers where they're playing out the string and, maybe they'll win a series in the postseason. I can't see them getting past that first series, though.
Steve Hartman joining us here on San Diego Sports 760. Steve, you feeling a little sick? You sound a little sick today.
It's not a matter of being sick. It's a matter of just, the disappointment again that I wasn't able to join you, Fletch, last week. I'm sitting here. I'm actually in Phoenix right now. It's a little hot over here. I've been sort of relaxing. I haven't been doing much of anything today, and all of a sudden I get this sudden, like, wow, okay. Usually Fridays, my build up to your show is a little bit different, but no, I'm just relaxing today. Like I said, I'm getting ready. I did my brackets. Have you guys done your brackets yet? I mean, are you done with your brackets?
I've done a couple. I'm waiting until tonight's games wrap up to do my official, my big bracket that I'll have in print in ink in front of me throughout this tournament.
I had my mind set on this one. Most people, I think right now, I see a lot of Houstons out there winning it all. I see a lot of Arizonas winning it all. And I'm like, I'm sorry, the best team I've seen all year is Duke. And I hate Duke. I really hate Duke. I think Shire is not much of a coach, honestly, but they got so much freaking talent, and Cameron Boozer's all that. So, yeah, I got Duke winning it, guys. And then I had to make up my mind because I believe that Rick Pitino and John Calipari are the only two coaches who have led three different schools to the Final Four. And I had this gut feeling that one of them is going to make it a fourth school. So I went back and forth. St. John's. Do I like Arkansas? And I've got Arkansas in the Final Four. Coach Cal gets his fourth school into the Final Four.
I don't know if Arkansas is getting past Hawaii, Steve. It's going to be a tough first-round matchup for them. The Big West, they play basketball different.
But you got to ask, did San Diego State, I know they were on the bubble, did they think the Aztecs were going to get in as an at-large?
No, John Schaefer and I tempered expectations quite a bit down the stretch. It's the Troy loss, man. If the Troy loss doesn't happen, they would be fine and they'd be in the field. But you can't survive that loss and then have a little bit of a disappointing regular season. And then even though they played well in the Mountain West tournament, we kind of had a feeling it wasn't going to be enough. And they honestly ended up only 3 spots out of the NCAA tournament. I thought it was going to be worse than that. So I think there was a little bit of respect given to Dutcher and the program. But the Troy loss and then the loss at Grand Canyon were the two. If either one of those would have went the other way, they would have been in the field.
Yeah, right down the street from me here in Phoenix. Grand Canyon, what a place this is. It's an unbelievable school out there. But, yeah, I'm disappointed. Obviously, I love Dutch. I want the Aztecs to be in the tournament every year. That's where they belong. And I'm sure I'll bounce back next year. But as far as my UCLA, what do you think, guys?
I got UCLA making a run.
Losing in the first game. But I will say this: if they get past the first game, which is always iffy because are you ready? Blah, 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 blah. But if they play UConn in the second round, the way UConn got boat raced in that Big East championship game by St. John's, I think the Bruins have a chance. I'm not worried about the injuries. I'm sure they're absolutely fine. Mick Cronin's been there, done that. He was holding those guys out because no one gives a rat's ass about what you do in a conference tournament. They only care about what you do in the NCAA tournament. So, Dent's finally playing the kind of basketball we expected when he came in from New Mexico. Bilodeau is going to be healthy. I think the Bruins have a chance, but they got to get past the first game. First games are always tricky in the NCAA tournament.
Steve, last year was obviously very chalky. There weren't many upsets in the first round and kind of at all. Do you think that was just a one-off year, or do you think this is a kind of problem of the NIL and that the rich are getting richer and it's kind of burying these lower tier programs?
I think it was an aberration. Last year, guys, at Fox Sports Radio, we do this every single year where all the hosts at Fox Sports Radio will enter our brackets. I had a perfect first day. I went 16-0. I mean, it's documented. It's out there. I didn't win the brackets last year. My teams fell apart after that, but I actually had, and I've been doing brackets for over 40 years. I've never had a perfect first day, but that a lot because there weren't a lot of upsets. I think we're 2 or 3 that day. I nailed all of them. But I don't see that happening this year. I think we are going to get upsets, and it's just a matter of, picking the right ones. I mean, usually you need to pick at least 2 12s over the 5s, at least 1 13 over a 4. 11 6s can be toss-up games. 10 7s are certainly that. So I think it's going to be just the opposite. I do think we're going to get some early upsets in this year's tournament.
All right, Steve, final one for you here on San Diego Sports 760. Now, this may be a little presumptuous, but I'm just going to go ahead and assume and hope it doesn't make an ass out of you and me. There's a lot of people listening in the car right now, maybe on their way to get their vasectomy, because this is the most popular day in American history every single year to get a vasectomy because your next 2 days are on the couch. Do you have any tips for people who are maybe getting that procedure done today on how the next couple of days should go?
Well, first of all, after we had Paris, my wife Denise at the time said, well, we have 2 boys, let's have 2 girls. I remember Denise was 11 years younger than me. I was already 42 when Paris was born. I said, no, cut me. I'm out. I'm out of the game. What I do remember about my vasectomy is that the doctor that was performing it wanted to impress me with how much he knew about sports the entire time he was doing the procedure, which was a little unnerving to me, right? And then he said,
wait, you're awake?
And I'm like, wow. I was. I mean, I guess you have some kind of local, right? And you'd feel a little bit of a tug, a little bit, right? And then all of a sudden he said, we're done. I said, wow, that was okay. He goes, now we got to do the other side. I'm like, uh-oh. And the other side, yeah. You need to have the frozen peas. You're going to be packing on there because it's going to be sore. And by the way, also you have to sort of clean that area by yourself before you actually go in for the procedure. Be very careful. Very delicate area. Very delicate area. So, yeah, I mean, I will say this. Don't worry about everything working. As you know, I've had many date nights since my vasectomy.
All right, that's about it.
All very successful, extremely successful. So, from the performance standpoint, I've never been better. So yeah, the big V, I just don't need any more kids. My oldest is going to be 30 years old. Greg Harvard's going to be, my youngest is going to be 25. So grandkids, that's what you want down the road, but no fears out there. But yeah, I would try to get somebody to perform the procedure without asking you questions the entire time of like, gee, what do you think of the upcoming baseball season? I go, can we focus? I appreciate it.
Can we put on the glasses, Doc, please?
Doc,
thank you,
go.
Steve. Wisdom every week.
The guy was just rambling through the entire thing. He's like, man, I've always wanted to call on your show. I go, call my show. Not right now. Focus on what you're doing.
Man,
Jesus.
Sounds intense. All right, Steve, you have a great week, man, and enjoy the games the next couple of days.
I love you guys.
We love Steve Hartman. Always appreciate having him on. As Jay Silv says, just hit play and let him go. Yeah, it's crazy. Steve telling that story about the guy rambling. I wonder what that's like. I have no idea. All right, San Diego Sports 760. We'll be back for a final time here today. Coming up next live on the iHeartRadio app. big couple of days coming up. By the way, something I just noticed on social media that I hesitate to even want to talk about, but Tony
Well, you
Jefferson.
asked Steve about his vasectomy, so
Yeah, it's true. Tony Jefferson just re-signed with the Chargers, which is a good get for them. I like Tony Jefferson.
yeah.
1 year,
I
$2
don't
million
really-
deal. Very low risk for them. He was a big locker room guy for them last year. But they used video from him being honored on the field at Snapdragon Stadium to like announce him coming back. Like, why don't you keep San Diego Stadium off your social media, Chargers? Just deal with what
Yeah,
you
it's
deal
just
with.
because
up
he
there.
was gassing up the Padres.
It was him at Snapdragon with SDFC. He was like a special guest for SDFC one night.
Well, he talks a lot of crap for beating the Chiefs 2 times in his life. So Johnny Jefferson's whatever.
Tony Jefferson's a good player, man. He was good for the Chargers
Yeah,
locker
he's
room.
fine. I mean, he just doesn't.
My gripe is not with Tony Jefferson. It's with the Chargers. Leave San Diego Stadium out of your social media. Por favor. Thank you. All right. We're getting out of here for the weekend. I'm actually heading out to Arizona tomorrow morning, bright and early, to go hang out at the FanDuel Sportsbook out there in
You're
Arizona.
going downtown?
Yeah, we're going to
I
try.
am I was just there on Saturday.
It's probably going to be packed, but I do have a little entry for all of you. So you heard Sammy's long shots, and if you missed it, you can find it on the free iHeartRadio app, the podcast. Here's mine. I got Michigan. I moved the line, so I think it was at like 24.5. I moved it down to 19.5, but I'm taking Michigan favored against Howard with the points. I am taking TCU to beat Ohio State straight up, Utah State to beat Villanova straight up, and SMU tonight winning by more than 6.5.
I like it.
That's a juicy one. That's a big one.
It's a little taster for you.
That was a 3 unit for me, by the way.
3 unit.
3 unit.
What's
for
your
me.
base unit?
We don't unit shame on this show.
We don't unit shame.
Never.
I was testing it.
That was a good test, Sammy.
Happy March Madness, everyone.
God, it's a beautiful couple of days coming up. If you're going in for your vasectomy right now, enjoy it and enjoy a couple of days on the couch. We'll see y'all on Monday. John Schaefer next.